What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a bunch of great information to go over in addition to Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition blowing up on the sales charts. We've got to talk about that and some really cool revelations with Final Fantasy 14 in the same vein, plus great Switch 2 news. But before we continue, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 at 140,000 subscribers or on September 1st, whichever comes first. Subscribe, like, comment. The winner will be chosen at random, and it's a worldwide giveaway. Thanks, peeps. All right, let's start off here with the Nintendo Switch 2 eShop bestsellers. This is a way that we can look at what players are playing, what's popular, what's going on, and it's super cool to see the variety that we get here. But the big release that everyone is talking about is the Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition, the upgrade pack, and how that's doing now that the game is fully out on the Switch 2. You can get the upgrade pack, you can get the full version itself, and it's doing pretty good. It's number 2 on the board. Shout out to my man Stealth, who rounded out all the information here. I also double checked it myself on the app, and it's looking pretty good. Obviously, Splatoon Raiders, very big launch in Japan that we covered the other day. Over 470,000 units physical. It's been a top seller here in the US as well. Plus with the eShop, Amazon, different places, it's even kind of hard to find. Some places have actually been selling out. I know I went to my Walmart the other day and they really only had a couple copies. So they were selling through that, and they were selling through the Choose Your Game bundle. I didn't see any of those left. They just had 2 of the regular $450 Nintendo Switch 2. So it looks like Splatoon Raiders helping out to be a bit of a system seller around the world. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition, the upgrade pack, number 2, very good to see people jumping back into one of the best games from the Nintendo Switch 1 era, but now updated in 4K 60 frames per second. Not perfect based off of some of the stuff that I saw. There's some things that happen with the frame rate here and there, and obviously with the resolution, it's an upscaler, so it's not like it's a native type of thing. You still got like a 720p being upscaled, but it looks significantly better than what we saw on the Nintendo Switch 1. And to be honest, all we wanted was making sure that the game does not run at like 360p portable mode at sub 30 FPS at times around Gourmet. Like, that's all we wanted. And that's what we got. We got a boost doubling 60 FPS most of the time. Got a much cleaner image. Does not look all crusty like it does portable mode. So that's what we wanted. That was what was delivered. So very excited to see that with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 Edition and the upgrade pack there. Shout out to Nintendo. They did give me a copy of that. I will be playing through and giving you guys a lot of content based off of that. I'm just getting into it right now, and I have a lot that I want to say, but I want to delve into it more and kind of break down the Merc missions and the new outfit and the new blades and everything. So it's pretty cool what they've done so far with this. And we have another one. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Switch 2 Edition is coming later, so that's going to be exciting. That's coming in December, so that's going to be really excited to see the updates to that, because that's the most polished experience out of all of the Xenoblade games at launch, in my opinion. But Xenoblade 2 is rolling right now, and I do want to talk about Final Fantasy 14 Complete Edition. We've got 2 separate things here between Final Fantasy 14 Complete Edition and then Final Fantasy 14 Collector's Edition. That's in at number 3 and number 7. So that's one of the things that I've talked about here when it comes to Square Enix. They have made a complete 180 from where they were, I would say even 5 years ago. They were really heavily on PlayStation. We got to make sure that we just do PlayStation exclusives, PlayStation games, everything is supported on their PlayStation, and yeah, maybe it'll come later to Xbox or to PC or to Nintendo, or there'll be old ports of things. But now I do think, because of the trends that we're seeing in Japan, the sales numbers and the heightened profile of the Switch 2 and the sales we're seeing, Square Enix has went completely 100% full in on the Nintendo Switch 2, getting Final Fantasy 14 on the system. This is the first time ever in the history of Final Fantasy, any of the MMOs, that it's been on a Nintendo platform. It is a big launch. I'm seeing quite a number of Japanese gamers out there picking the game up, and I think that it is a staple type of MMO. And if you really want to know what I think about this, I think that that test that Nintendo did, the Nintendo Switch Online network test thingy, that thing that they put out for like all the little avatars doing stuff, I think that was actually a test run for Final Fantasy 14. People always wonder, where's that game at? Where's that network test game at? I think that was a test run for like an MMO style to see how many people and stress the servers so they can get a game like Final Fantasy XIV running efficiently. I really think that's what it was, and that's what we needed. Final Fantasy XIV has been one of the most popular MMOs, and the fact that it's not on a Nintendo platform was not good. But now we finally got it here, and players are showing up to actually support it. So we have the full top 30 here, guys. A lot of mix of great games: Pokemon, Pokopia, Star Fox, Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza. A lot of the staples when it comes to evergreen games, and third-party games mixed in it too. But it's great to see Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Switch 2 Edition and Final Fantasy XIV do so well, and Splatoon Raiders continuing its run at the top. And I'm very close to beating the game. I think I have like a few more levels. I've been 100% in it as I go along on the survivalist difficulty, so I'm excited to kind of get through more of that game. But what do you guys think when it comes to everything we talked about here with Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and what's going on here with the eShop? Let me know in the comments, but you can also let me know what you think about some classic games. Finally, at this point, Nintendo adding some more GameCube titles to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack service. We've got Super Mario Sunshine coming through, and unreleased Virtual Boy games. Yes, unreleased. A canceled F-Zero game, or it was going to be an F-Zero game or something like that. Zero Racers, D-Hopper. We've got to get into what's happening here. 3 new classics for Nintendo Switch Online members. So Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics app will add Super Mario Sunshine on August 13th. And Virtual Boy Nintendo Classic app will add D-Hopper and Zero Racers on August 4th, Nintendo announced. It's so funny. I actually watched the documentary on the Virtual Boy, and they talked about some of these unreleased games, and the fact that they're releasing them now, it's pretty cool. It's cool to see Nintendo do this. This is a weird part of Nintendo's history when it comes to Virtual Boy, but let's get into what's happening here with the Nintendo GameCube, because finally we got another game, Mario Sunshine. People have been asking for Super Mario Sunshine. Where is this game at? We've known about it for quite some time. I wonder what goes into the release dates and the timing for all of this. I think they try to time it to where, okay, maybe we have a little bit of a soft part of the schedule, then we're going to put out some stuff here, because August, there's no major first party release, but there's a lot of supplementary stuff that's coming out. It's like network tests, you've got virtual console, you've got DLC, so you've got a lot of cool side things kind of coming out in August, along with big third party titles coming as well. But it's great to see Sunshine finally coming back, and it's another way to play it. They stopped selling the 3D All-Stars version of that game, the Switch 1 version. So now we finally have a roundabout way of getting all of the 3D All-Stars to play on your Switch 2. So you can get the Mario 64, that's already available. We know about that. Now we have Mario Sunshine, and then there's also the Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 pack where you can buy them individually. So there is a way, which I did predict back then that there will eventually be a way for all of these games to be available on Nintendo hardware in the future, and it happened 6 years afterwards. Only 6 years, guys, not that long. But I got 3 copies of Super Mario 3D All-Stars, so I'm good on that one. But it's awesome to see Super Mario Sunshine. Looks great, obviously, but the Switch release, the Switch 1 release of 3D All-Stars, that Sunshine I think looks better than maybe this one. But at least you have this at no extra cost when it comes to Super Mario Sunshine. Also, Virtual Boy Nintendo Classics July 2026 updates. Look at this commercial. This is straight out of the 90s. This is definitely something that you would see Nintendo do when it comes to the 90s, and they brought it back, and it seems like they had fun with this commercial. It's like nobody wanted to find it, but we found it anyway. I love that. I love what they're doing here. I'm not a big fan of Virtual Boy. When the Virtual Boy first came out, I thought it looked ridiculous. I thought it was kind of garbage. I didn't like the fact that it was all red and black. I was like, what is going on here? Plus, I didn't have the money to buy it anyway. I was still wrapped up in playing Chrono Trigger and playing Super Nintendo, and the N64 was coming out and all of that, and I was playing PS1 at my friends' houses. So for me, the Virtual Boy never really left any real impact, even though I was well old enough to kind of see it and try it out and all that. And I was just like, my eyes are going to go like bad if I'm looking at this red light very close to my eyes. Now, obviously, that's not the case. Like, it actually makes your eyes stronger because of the type of technology that it uses. But that was the sentiment back then. It was that, man, this thing's going to zap your eyes, or you're going to turn into Cyclops or something like that when it comes to X-Men, blasting red laser out of your eye or something like that. So to me, Virtual Boy was never anything great. But the fact that they're bringing it back, I did buy it, but I haven't tried it out yet. Like, I bought the Virtual Boy, the nice stand and everything, but I haven't quite tried it out. But it's cool to see games that were never released come back to the service. We saw this a little bit with Star Fox 2, and it was great to see it then, and now we have it again with Virtual Boy. So if there's a way that Nintendo can bring back these classics, bring back unreleased games and canceled stuff, that's cool. I can't hate on that at all, even though I don't like Virtual Boy, but I do think that it's cool that they're doing this, and it's a slice of Nintendo history that you don't want to just bury 100%, right? Like Gunpei Yokoi, legendary Nintendo creator, this was one of his inventions, and to see it kind of get its time in the sun again, despite it, you know, not being the most successful when it came out back in the 90s, it's just cool for his legacy, so I do like that. So what do you guys think when it comes to everything that we talked about here with Super Mario Sunshine and the updates to Virtual Boy? You can let me know in the comments. And now we're gonna move on to Pokemon Pokopia DLC. We got the Expansion Pass 1 Bubbly Basin. I love the name Bubbly Basin. Launching on August 5th. We got a new 2.0 update. Pokemon Pokopia is the game that I need to set aside everything. When I'm done with everything, I can play this game because this game has so much content, even in the base game. And now the expansion pack is coming. There's just so much to do in this game. So cozy life simulation game, Pokemon Pokopia paid downloadable content expansion pass part 1 Bubbly Basin will launch on August 5th alongside the game's version 2.00 update. Publisher, the Pokemon Company, developers Game Freak and Koei Tecmo announced it is the first of 3 parts, with part 2 to follow late 2026. So here's some more details on this one. New details revealed for the expansion pass part 1 Bubbly Basin. In part 1, players can look forward to making a splash in the new underwater town, Bubbly Basin. In this submerged space, players can grow watermelons with the help of Pokemon with the water specialty, while Pokemon with the generate specialty can power bubble machines or activate streetlights. Players can also discover more Pokemon, new outfits, a power-up for the move Surf, and newly added prepared food smoothies. Players can traverse a hole in the sea floor to explore deep sea shrouded in darkness and enjoy an exciting adventure alongside Pokemon by following the glowing coral. Building reaches a new depth in Bubbly Basin with buoyant blocks, which allow players to make buildings that are only possible underwater. Floating at different levels, players can also build a Sharpedo submarine to make a room which feels like a secret base. We've got new features revealed for Expansion Pass Part 2, scheduled for release in late 2026. Players can look forward to dressing up alongside their favorite Pokemon by wearing accessories in Part 2 of the paid downloadable content. Players will also be able to find more furniture pieces and Pokemon. More details regarding Part 2 will be revealed in the future. Version 2.00 free software update is now available to everyone who owns Pokemon Pokopia from August 5th. Players will be able to learn the move Dive from Manaphy as part of the version 2.0 free software update. Once learned, players will be able to swim alongside water-type Pokemon and build underwater. Pokemon Pokopia is available, and once again, this game, crazy content, crazy kind of hit game of the year. I think people were underestimating what this game was going to do, myself included. You had the $70 price tag plus the game key card stuff. It was just something that kind of caught people off guard. Now, if you're big into cozy simulators and Dragon Quest builders, it didn't catch you off guard. You knew what type of hit was going to happen here, but a lot of people didn't expect it to do what it did. It pulled in a lot of the Animal Crossing crowd. It pulled in some of the Pokemon crowd. It pulled in some of the Dragon Quest builders crowd, and it really was a bona fide system seller back when it released in March. And I think that at that time, to end out the quarter, to end out that financial year, Nintendo really needed that. That helped boost things quite a bit and give it a good sales period. So Pokemon Pokopia put in work, and I think that this DLC, a lot of people are waiting for new content. They've been playing the game. I haven't been seeing as many people talk about Pokemon Pokopia and show off crazy things online. So I do think that with this underwater stuff, you're gonna get a lot of people doing crazy stuff, building all of Atlantis or something like that underwater and just doing crazy things with this game. Like, it's a wild type of title, and it's like so addictive to the title. Like, I actually had to stop playing because there were so many other things that I had to cover that people wanted to see, like RPG stuff and stuff that you guys know that I need to cover on the channel. So I had to say, okay, wait, hold up. this game is so addicting. I'm not getting production done with IRL, like with my actual games and stuff that I have to cover for the channel. So that's how addicting this game was for me. So one of these days, I'm definitely going to go back and kind of go through and do more content in there. But I had a blast when I was playing. I put a number of hours in there, and this expansion pass is just looking to potentially wreak even more havoc on players' time when it comes to what they get done. But what do you think about everything that we talked about here? A lot of cool Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more that we went over. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, peeps, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.